Welcome to the world of Salex TV. As Benue State marks her Golden Jubilee, we have taken a look at the performance of the state civil service through the eyes of the current amiable head of service, a man with passion for honesty, hard work, excellence, transparency, and accountability, Moses Agbogbo Ode, PhD, who was privileged to be in the helm of affairs at this moment. He spoke on varieties of issues, including the superlative performance of the Executive Governor of Benue State, His Excellency Father Hyacinth Yonem Alia, PhD.
His Excellency, while canvassing for the support of the people of the state, noted that the Benue State Civil Service was under intensive care. Salaries were not paid, pensions were not paid, overhead was not given to workers to acquire materials that will enable them perform their duties on a daily basis. Coming to work was becoming nearly impossible for lack of transport. Parents were not able to pay their children's school fees. The state secretariat complex, that edifice that was bequeathed to the people of the state by the first civilian governor of Benue State, Chief 42 years ago, had never been renovated. The last set of furniture that were supplied there were as far back as 2008. The place was cut off completely from public power supply. So in most cases, from Monday to Friday, the entire premises was almost like a ghost place. It may interest you to know that the environment, the premises of that place has never been as neat as it is now. His Excellency said, if you give me the mandate, this negative narrative was going to change to a positive one. And immediately he came in, he swung into action with a few of us that he brought into office immediately and said he was trying to see if the salary of the state can be paid using internally generated revenue. He said 25th of every month, salary should be paid. And from day one till today, that is what the governor has kept doing. In most cases, we pay 15th, sometimes 17th, sometimes 20th, 22nd salaries have been paid. We have never had it like that in the history of Benue State till now. Areas too have been addressed to a very large extent. The State Secretariat, we are all witnesses to the massive renovation the place has undergone. All the furniture too are renewed. The State Secretariat, as we are talking today, is connected to 33 kVA. The 11 kVA is common. The place has a generating set. The fuel pump is being renovated. All the issues that used to lead to lateness to the office, or somebody deliberately refusing to go to the office, delay in handling official matters, and so many of those crimes, vices that are antithetical to growth and development, are fast becoming a thing of the past. His Excellency, as a man of God, who came in to governance truly as a raw man of God, have made all of us to understand that you must handle government resources at your disposal prudently. If you must collect overhead, you must justify it. You administer it strictly for the purpose for which you have been given, and you retire it accordingly to be qualified for the next month's goal. This has led to a great level of positive changes in the attitude of the average Benue worker. Transparency, accountability, fairness has taken over the mind of every civil servant. I'd like us to know some of the reasons for which people will want to go and change their records so that they will not retire on time. One of which is the fear of the unknown, that if I retire now, my gratuities and pensions may not be paid. That one has been taken care of by a good number of people who are even willing to retire on their own now. Because as you are retiring, in 3 months' time, your gratuity is paid. In the same way, the arrears will also be addressed. Training of civil servants. What helps the civil servant to be abreast and to key into the best practices all over the world is training and retraining. For quite some time, this has not been observed, which is why the level of productivity keep dropping rapidly. It may interest you to know that as His Excellency came in, very silently and quietly, quite a good number of courses, some for which last for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 3 weeks, organized by needs, another recognized training institutions, a good number of benefit civil servants have been sent to participate. What we had before used to be the staff training center, development training center. Now, a public service institute has been established to broaden it. The aim of this is to train and retrain serving civil servants and other classes of public servants whose capacities before now have not been fully developed. You know, the thing is, upon attainment of age 60, you retire, and before you know it, idleness kills you. But if we were in a system where our capacities in areas like ICT, we are fully developed, you will discover that at age 60 that you have just retired, life has just begun with you. Because you will have more than enough to do that will make you to become very useful to yourself, to your family, to your community, and to the entire society. That is one thing that public service institute is going to do for the people of Benue State, and it's already doing it. Whether you are still serving or you are already out of the system, take advantage of that school. You will discover yourself that at your comfort, you can sit down and do a lot of things that will improve your life. His Excellency came in and established the Ministry of ICT and Digital Economy. And that ministry today is in the forefront of trying to see that the economy of the state is digitalized. The state government has, under that ministry, established a number of institutions that are prosecuting every aspect of ICT in the state. And recently, I was privileged to be sent on a study tour to Singapore with the federal head of service. The aim of the study tour was to enable us study the civil service structure of Singapore that is reputed to be the best all over the world. That 80% of the good things you see in Singapore are actually credited to the civil service. It may interest you to know that since the inception of that country, they experienced only one religious crisis. So as a civil servant in that country, regardless of the level you have started, a given percentage of your salary is dedicated to owning a house. Those houses, we were shown how they started and how they graduate from one level to another. How they have become the giant buildings in that country. Will you then carry your cutlass and whatever to go and destroy it with your own hand, your own property? Their currency called Singaporean currency dollar. That is what you must use to buy whatever you want to buy anytime you are in that country. If you go with US dollar or any other currency other than their own, you must go to a licensed money changer because the rate is already fixed in favor of their currency. Their external reserve as at the last count was 1.6 trillion denominated in US dollar. The secret of that civil service that led to that level of attainment of growth and development is ICT. It was like tonic that turns me on. Immediately I came back, I realized that what His Excellency used to say, or that he used to draw about ICT, there is no two ways about it. We don't have option, we don't have any alternative to it. It is for the civil service to just simply key into it. Identify with the ministry, with the various institutions that have been established under the ministry, and began to put them on fire. When are we going to start this 40,000 training of the civil servant? I don't want it to end in verbal promise. We have to start. At that point, I wanted everything I have caught from Singapore to be put into practice immediately. I will graciously have the approval of His Excellency, and this training is launched. It was launched, and I would like to tell everybody that cares to hear. I am particularly very impressed with the enthusiasm by which the civil servants have embraced that training. Now that we have celebrated the second year in office of His Excellency, after the Democracy Day, as we resume, we will redouble our efforts, and in no long time from now, that 40,000 training target be attained. It may impress you to know that the facilities required to support this is already in place. When they started in Singapore, they had challenge of light, they had challenge of this, but you have to start from somewhere to get to somewhere. If the state secretariat is already on a dedicated 33 kVA, you still have the epileptic 11 kVA there, and you have a generator there, and computers, laptops, and other equipment are already being provided. I like us to eliminate the spirit of pessimism that we can't go anywhere. His Excellency has provided over and above the level that we can no longer go back. Because to digitalize the civil service and the economy itself is saying that every family in Benue State should be rich. And I'd like to reiterate this again. The success of Alia remains the success of the people of the state. Issues of promotion of civil servants and a number of things that are the main concern of civil servants have been addressed. It may impress you to know that they do not acquire a scheme for civil servants. At the level that we are now, His Excellency is going to start with 500 units for state civil servants, and same is going to be provided around the 23 local government areas of the state. Because civil service in this case includes both the local and the state. That is why the ICT training and the e-governance training that we are organizing, they are also included. Every reform and reorganization you see us commencing at the state level is getting to that level. We have to have a highly dedicated civil service, a civil service that will be maximally productive, that the government will no longer be counting losses. But that when you sit down and see the level of productivity of the workforce of the state, you will be happy. As far as ICT is concerned, as we are talking now, Benue is only second to Lagos, and the governor is not prepared to let the state go down from that and what we are doing in the state civil service, particular reference to ICT and e-governance. We have introduced what you call this thing at the state secretariat, the biometric data register. Is going to cut across all the civil service offices. We face a lot of battle introducing that. You know what people hate most in our society is change. They use all manner of means to frustrate it. But thank God we have succeeded because it has the capacity to do a lot for the states. It is not for me to say them here, but it's good that we know how far the government of His Excellency has come. I could go to offices today and see people. Sometimes, if you see the clothes, I think yes. You have ACs and all of that in the office. There is water in your toilet. You have all that you need to have. You cannot plan because you are paid as and when you. If you don't have, you know from the next person to go and borrow. But what is it that all the wheels of the economy of the state? It is salary and the pension that you pay. And so the man who or the woman who is selling to pay, selling some is selling. It is no longer like before. As a permanent secretary, I needed to borrow money to send my son back to school. I didn't know where to borrow from. One of my directors, that by the grace of God today is a commissioner, introduced me to a borrowing house. For a whole we couldn't raise 50,000. Because somebody woke up overnight and said there was no need to pay you your salaries. Not that subvention was not coming. And all over the world, once you receive your subvention, the number one thing to do is to pay salary and whatever is left out of it before you think of other developmental agenda. Actually, you have the debt. General, why were you not paying? Now this thing was coming in and sending order. Is there a paucity of funds? How can paucity of funds be the right answer for that kind of a question? It was his colleague that said, he said, sir, these PVs you see that we present to you represent the areas of priority. Welfare of the people. Welfare will be the number one interest of any government all over the world. Was not even the least considered. Was not even among the least. So January, February, March, April, May, no salary. Your children went to school, came on holiday. We need to feed them, see to their uniform, to pay back their school fees. His Excellency have not left any sector of the Benue society untouched. The security that we talk about today, there are certain things we cannot talk about here. But you will agree with me that from the inception of this government, what you have experienced is relative peace. What is happening in recent times, the same God that helped the government to arrest them also helped him to get these ones arrested. So I want to encourage you, the Ikede media people, to always champion the cause of discouraging our people from engaging in crises with the armed headers. Don't touch their car. Don't touch their properties. Don't allow them any space to occupy any space in the little this thing that you have. Employment, since the inception of the government has not done any employment in state when we came in. The last set of employment that was done by the former government were nullified. Not because the governor or the government of Reverend Father and Gentlemen earlier was against anybody, but that the due process, the procedures were not followed. You want to employ, there was no budgetary provision at all. How did you employ? To pay them from which source? Not only is it that there was no budgetary provision, the state character principle was not taken into consideration. These employment were massively done in favor of just about 4 local governments at the expense of the other 23 local governments of the state. There was no advertisement. There was no legal input into the recruitment exercise. And everything was lopsided. During the 2-year anniversary of His Excellency's speech, he mentioned that employment will be done. It is going to be done qualitatively, that everybody's interest will be represented. It will be done in the main civil service. Ministry of Education at different levels will also do their own. And at this time, I know that the expectations are high. We will do our best. If you go to the state civil service now, local government like Obi, Apag, and we were grossly disadvantaged. If you come to admin, apart from James O'Day, who is there as an assistant director, or how many people probably. We have made a lot of efforts that will soon begin to yield their fruits. Nobody will convince me that this government will last for 2 years to have achieved what they have done without borrowing a dime. That level of physical discipline is one that should be commended. I'm talking like this because I want to believe that so many of you are aware that I have been in government as permanent secretary from 2014. It was not the term that appointed me. When Susan handed over, I knew what transpired. When the immediate past administration handed over to this one, I was there and I am there. Within the first 3 months, over something billion was borrowed. But I am saying, in spite of the fact that salaries were not paid for that number of time, all vehicles and everything sold with nothing to start with, the government has steadily paid your salary and paid arrears and have not borrowed 1 naira, either from an individual or any institution, not even from federal government, not from CBN, not from anywhere. No document has been signed as to borrowing anything from anywhere. If they say the government will survive to have done what we are seeing, I'm not talking as a politician, of course, you know that I'm not a politician. To the Igede man, shine your eye, drum your support for this government. I am here in Nigeria and, of course, in Benue State. I can only drum support for what I am seeing. I cannot drum support for government of Donald Trump that I am not seeing. Excellency, Reverend Father Hassan earlier, PhD, the executive governor of Benue State, is against waste. That is why he emphasizes on the prudent use of whatever resources that is made available to you. If you apply it prudently, transparently, to give account of it, it's very, very simple. It is the desire of the man that the civil service in Benue State becomes the best anywhere in the world. Remember, that is the kind of governor we are talking about. How can you become the best if you are not empowered to do your work? If you are not given what you are supposed to be given to do your work and be the best? Let us look at some of these questions and weigh what some persons come to tell us. Let us try to discern from where they are coming from before you can pass your verdict, your judgment. Before now, what used to be the major complaint is superimposing, where you will see a junior staff being superimposed over a senior person, knowing that that senior person has questionable character, and then the next available person that is the junior, one is of good character and is good and can perform in that position. It is only on such rare occasion. Promotion, if you do not have problem at all, There is no reason why you should not be given your promotion.